Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 4 of Harley Quinn. So we've started getting the group together. Harley, Ivy, and everyone else is kind of forming their own little crew. Basically of these reject villains. And they're trying to kind of just get respect. And one of the goals has gone off without a hitch. Harley has achieved her goal of getting a street named after her, and stuff, after they took out Maxie Zeus and shit. So, yeah. Joker seems upset by all this, but everything seems to be going according to plan. I like how this series does have, like, an actual story to it. Like, it's not just, like, a bunch of episodic stuff. There is an actual ongoing narrative here with Harley trying to get the respect she feels she deserves as a villain. As well as the ongoing tensions between her and her former lover, Joker. So, yeah. Really, really interesting stuff going on here. Now, with season 2 already out and everything, I do plan to get to that as well eventually, since I am enjoying this very much. I don't know, I still don't know if I'm going to go right into it after I finish season 1, though. I'm just not sure on that. We're just going to kind of have to see. But yeah, it's like either way I'll get to it. It's just as a matter of when. But like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm very much enjoying it so far. I have no idea where this is going to take us at all. I have no idea what to expect from this. So we're just going to get into episode 4 and find out where this series is going, at least for the moment. Yeah, let's just get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So the crew is growing larger. We have added King Shark to our team. I'm not like super familiar with King Shark compared to some other villains, but I do know of him. I think he was in one of the Suicide Squad movies, wasn't he? I think so. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, so this episode is focused around Harley trying to get a nemesis. So it's like each episode seems to have its own kind of, like, focus, but at the same time it still does further the ongoing main narrative, which I like. It does both in a way. So yeah, Harley's trying to find a nemesis because that's a thing in the superhuman society. All heroes and villains have nemesis to fight off against. And she wants a notable nemesis. She wants someone big. Of course, the Batmans, the Supermans, you know, the big name heroes. So they work on trying to get this done, but obviously everything's not going according to plan. Until they end up kind of dealing with Robin. So Robin is also introduced in this episode, and it's the Damian Wayne Robin, which means we've already had all these other Robins introduced. I wonder if that means that Joker has already killed Jason Todd. I assume it does. So does that mean the Red Hood could possibly appear at some point? In which case, Ra's al Ghul could also appear, which I would be really okay with. I've always liked Ra's al Ghul. But either way, so we have Damian, and this is a different Damian that I'm used to. Like I'm used to like the kind of Damian Wayne you see in the likes of the DC animated movie universe, such as Justice League versus Teen Titans, Batman versus Robin, those movies, where Damian is very moody, very kind of emo in a way. He's just this moody young teenage boy who's just very hard to handle, hard to control, and he's not great at making friends until he joins the Titans. Um, and this one is more of a semi-manipulative little troublemaker. Like he's what you would expect like this 12-year-old kid to kind of act like. He's a troublemaker. He's kind of a brat. He lies to boost himself up. He uses um, the media and talk shows to kind of make people think highly of him and everything. And it's just like, okay. And his voice is like so higher pitched than I'm used to with Damian Wayne portrayals as well. It's like, okay. Um, I mean, it's not what I would expect. It's really not what I would expect for Damian. Um, it's because of the tone of this show and everything, I'm fine with it. This show is clearly going for that kind of like more silly tone, kind of twisting these characters in a way. Um, but while still keeping somewhat of their personalities intact. Like, yeah, Damian Wayne is still a brat. Like, he's always been a brat. So it's like that's still intact. It's just they handled the way he's a brat a little differently. But they still mention he was raised by the League of Assassins and all. He's still pretty much the same character. Um, and that's kind of like what you get from all of these characters. They're like pretty much the same character. Some obviously more generally accurate than others. Like, yeah, the Joker is the Joker. Harley and Ivy are pretty accurate, all things considered. Except Ivy's maybe not as flirtatious and shit in this version. Um, but still, you get the point. And it's like it's a really interesting way to handle these characters, I feel. Um, but yeah, I really did enjoy that aspect of all of this. Um, but yeah, so Robin lies and makes it seem like Harley is his nemesis, which obviously Harley doesn't like. She wants a real nemesis, not Robin. Especially since she's trying to, this wasn't even mentioned in the episode, but she's trying to distance herself from the Joker as more than just his henchwoman. She's trying to be her own villain. So having her nemesis be a sidekick is almost kind of demeaning to her entire goal here. Which, yeah, to the degree is kind of what a lot of this is going for. A lot of the show is showing that there's not that level equality in terms of how supervillains are seen, or even superheroes to a degree. Um, Now, obviously, this kind of thing's been done before, and it's handled more seriously in stuff like Young Justice. But still, it's it's a notable point that it's like that is definitely another reason, even though not mentioned, Harley did not like that concept. So she gets him to admit it on TV by tricking him and everything. And Batman eventually comes to save him, and it looks like Harley might be succeeding again, getting Batman to actually ignore the Joker's recent heist and focus on her this time in order to become a new nemesis. But Joker sees this and decides to crash the party and fucks everything up because, Joker. And he doesn't want the attention taken away from him. And in the end, I guess they're moving because Ivy's landlord has kicked them out because he sees King Shark as a pet. Um, yeah, it's kind of played with the idea throughout this episode in his little sporadic appearances that this landlord is a little bit bigoted. It's kind of played in that way. Like even Ivy at one point closes the door in his face and says, like, I feel like he was about to say something racist. um, and it's like, okay. So clearly at the end, when he's like calling King Shark a pet, basically, and all, it's like, yeah, he's clearly being pretty bigoted against King Shark, obviously. I don't know what like the intention with that was, like if there was supposed to be like a massive point to that scene and that his character. But the big thing we know now is that Ivy has to move. So I don't know if she's going to still let Harley and her gang live with her, or if they're going to do something else here. I mean, they stole all that money from the bank. Technically, Harley and her gang could get their own place. And hell, with all that money, they could buy each other. Harley could buy everyone their own place. There's probably enough money there. Hell, they could probably just buy an apartment building. Hell, just buy this apartment building. Just buy this from the landlord. And it's like, okay, this is ours now. We're not kicked out. I guess we'll see where that goes, and how that comes to a head. But this episode also did something that I definitely want to talk about here, and that is it hinted at the relationship between Harley and Ivy. During the fight at the television studio, while everyone's fighting, pretty much except Clayface, King Shark, and Psycho, they're watching while everyone else is fighting. Harley, Ivy, Joker, and Batman, and well, Robin's kind of tied up, but everyone's kind of fighting. And at one point, Ivy and Harley end up on top of each other, and it's like even the camera crew and everything focuses on it, and Tawny like focuses on everyone. It's basically like ooh la la kind of thing, and it's like there's some really bad pun. I forgot exactly how it's worded, but there's some really bad pun like that comes on the program and stuff. And the idea behind it is simply that they're teasing the fact that in the comics and everything, and just via a lot of the fans, Harley and Ivy had become a couple. The comics do this, and again, a lot of the fans of these characters are heavy into their relationship and into them being a couple, especially considering how non-toxic it is compared to Harley's relationship with Ivy, or with Joker, rather. Uh, so it's like seeing this teased is good. Because up till now, yeah, they've like said "I love you," but more in kind of like a mutual friendship kind of way, and it's building up to the possibility of them getting together. This scene in this episode clearly shows that the creators of the show understand that fans want this. They're teasing the idea and kind of seeing exactly how many of those fans, the Harley Ivy shippers, basically, are watching this program and how much they want to see this actually happen. Plus, they're building up to it if they are going to introduce it. I'm sure they want to make it feel natural. As much of this show, as zany and over the top as it is, something like that, especially in today's climate with television, it does need to be handled delicately a lot of the time. I mean, there are some shows and movies that say just like, fuck it, who cares, we're going all in on it. And I applaud those shows and movies and games that do that. But there's a lot of people nowadays that still would piss off. And so they're trying to they're trying to ease their way into it. And I feel that's fair. They want to handle it more respectfully and don't want to just feel like they're forcing it down people's throats. Um, so I hope that they handle this in a very respectful way. Plus, with as popular as this ship is, they probably want to make sure that they do handle it right so that it seems like, yeah, this makes sense. It's natural. It feels right. Um, but I don't think it's going to happen this season. I don't think we're going to have Harley and Ivy actually be a couple this season. Maybe in season 2, I don't know, but I feel like they're working up to it, and we're going to kind of just hint at it little bits and pieces here and there. And definitely, obviously, they have fantastic chemistry, so it's clearly the building blocks are set up. It just has to all be put together. So yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It was interesting. It had some fun stuff in it. I like how King Shark is the tech expert and stuff. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. The crew has grown. They're probably going to be getting a new place. Let's see what happens next. But in the meantime, tell me what you thought of this episode of Harley Quinn down in the comments below. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.